I'm 10 years old. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon and summer's coming to an end. The air is crisp with the promise of the changing season, and thoughts swirl through my mind as I begin to imagine the new school year. The phone rings and it's my dad. I see him every other weekend or so since my parents split up, and we have one very special tradition. Every year he takes me to the stationery store before school starts, and I get to choose a few new things. So he calls and he says, "Should we go do a little shopping to get you ready for school?" I fill up with joy at the thought of it. "Yes, Papa, let's go." I get dressed and ready, and I wait. Hours pass, the sun begins to set, and after dinner my Papa arrives. I leap down the stairs as I watch my mom walk in front of me and step outside. "What are you doing here?" she questions him. He says he's going to take me shopping. "No, you're not. It's Sunday night. The stores are only open for another hour. She's not going anywhere with you. You should have called me." They start yelling at each other. Moments later, he hits her, and then they begin physically fighting. All I can think is, I caused this. I run and I hide under the side table in the living room. I close my eyes and I spiral into shame. We end up at the hospital. When we get home, I lay in bed that night and grief overcomes me as I replay the day over and over again in my head. I take it all on. The responsibility, the blame, the guilt. For years, I carry it inside of me, and I'm careful never to ask for too much, never to upset anyone, and always to keep the peace. Fast forward 30 years, I'm in a relationship and my partner yells at me. Instantly, it triggers that memory. I start to shake and every vivid detail comes rushing back to me. I feel helpless and small again. I remember that 10-year-old me hiding under the table, arms wrapped around her legs, head tucked into her chest, rocking back and forth, wishing she could unwind time. I take a deep breath and I remember I am not that little girl anymore. But the wounds from that day are still there, and it's time to heal them. I do a meditation later that day, and I imagine that 10-year-old me there with all the chaos around her. This time, though, I envision myself there with her. I walk over to her, get down on my knees, and whisper, "I'm here. This is not your fault. No matter what you do or don't do, no matter what you say or don't say, adults are not supposed to hit. People are not supposed to treat each other this way." She falls into my arms with relief. I feel her embrace and her innocence. She looks into my eyes and I remind her, "You are the adult now." She climbs out from under that table, stands up, walks with confidence and grace, putting herself right in between my mom and dad. She raises her hands out to her side and she says, "Enough! No more!" The fighting stops and they look at her. They realize what they've done. She then takes all of that guilt and shame and grief that she's carried throughout her life and she lays them down on the ground right there between them, turns and walks away. People in our lives will hurt us and let us down. Triggers will remind us of these events that have shaped us, and they invite us to heal them. I didn't need to forgive my dad or mom as much as I needed to forgive myself for believing that I was to blame, for repeatedly accepting less than what I was worthy of, and for tolerating bad behavior for years because I thought I deserved it. It's never too late to go back and visit that little us, to meet them with the love, compassion, and protection that they didn't get when they needed it. With everything that we know now, with all of the wisdom and strength and power we have inside of us, it is time to forgive ourselves for the broken beliefs we built our lives upon and say enough and no more. Tear those beliefs down to the ground and build ourselves new ones.